Have you ever felt like the path to, financial wisdom boils down to just one thing? Like, get a good job, save up, don't rock the boat.
Yeah, that's the classic advice, isn't it?
But what if, just what if, that's actually kind of a financial trap,
Mm.
especially today with so much information, so many opportunities out there. So today, we're not just questioning those old beliefs. We're looking at a blueprint for something really different when it comes to money. We're doing a deep dive into one of the most, well, transformative personal finance books out there, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Ah,
And specifically, we're zoning in on its incredibly popular Hindi edition. It's had a huge impact across India and really beyond.
that's right. And for this deep dive, our source material isn't just the book itself. We've actually gathered a whole load of reviews, content analyses, reception notes, all focused specifically on the Hindi translation. So that lets us really unpack the core messages, understand its impact, especially in the Indian context, right? And figure out if this way of thinking could genuinely offer you some new insights for your own financial path.
Exactly. So our mission today, pretty clear. We want to pull out the most important nuggets of wisdom, understand the nuances of how it's been received, particularly by Hindi-speaking readers, and basically give you a real shortcut to being properly informed about this massive bestseller. Let's get into it.
Okay, so at its heart, Rich Dad, Poor Dad really talks about some pretty deep truths on financial literacy. One of the absolute basics, something it hammers home again and again, is that critical difference between assets and liabilities, for building wealth.
Right.
Now, most of us kind of get that assets, well, they put money in your pocket. Think income property or dividend stocks. Liabilities, they take money out, like, credit card debt or maybe a car that's losing value fast.
hmm But what's really, I think, transformative is how Kiyosaki forces you to constantly rethink things. Like, is that fancy degree really an asset if it just gets you a good salary but no actual freedom?
Interesting point. Or is your quote unquote dream home always an asset if the mortgage and upkeep just bleeds you dry month after month? The real genius of the book isn't just what it says, but how it rewires your thinking. So you stop asking, how much do I earn? And start asking, how much can I create?
Great.
It's a huge shift from being just like an employee in the system to becoming someone who architects it.
And it really pushes some practical strategies too, even if they sound simple, like paying yourself first.
Sounds obvious, right?
Totally. But think about it. If you got a bonus, like right now, would you pay bills first or would you invest a chunk right away? The book argues you treat your future self like your most critical bill, the one that grows into your financial independence.
Mm.
It uses this very accessible style, parables, stories. It makes it super engaging, easy to grasp, even if you're totally new to this stuff.
Definitely.
But look, it's not perfect. It gets criticized. People point out that some core claims, like whether the rich dad actually existed,
Yeah.
well, there's not much hard evidence.
That's a fair point, yeah. And another thing you hear is that while it's great for motivation, sometimes it feels a bit repetitive or it doesn't give you like super detailed step-by-step instructions for trickier financial situations.
Right. More big picture than nuts and bolts sometimes.
Exactly. But if we focus specifically on the Hindi edition, the one translated by Dr. Sudhir Dixit, the praise is pretty overwhelming for its clarity and accessibility. Readers consistently say the language is simple, it makes these often complex financial ideas really relatable for a huge Hindi-speaking audience, especially, young adults, people just starting out.
Hmm.
And the book uses diagrams really effectively too, doesn't it, to show concepts like cash flow.
Oh, yeah, the diagrams are helpful.
That visual representation of money coming in from assets versus money going out for liabilities, it makes that distinction really, really clear.
It is interesting, though, when you dig into the translation itself. Praise for clarity, yes, but some reviewers do mention a potential downside.
Oh, what's that?
A slight, maybe lessening, of the original's raw motivational power. One Amazon reviewer actually said some sentences felt a bit too literal.
Ah, like a direct word-for-word thing.
Yeah, potentially missing some of that subtle emotional weight, that sort of inspirational kick the original is known for.
Mm-hmm.
It can make parts feel a little more factual, maybe, than truly transformative.
Okay, I see what you mean. A
Yeah.
slight trade-off, perhaps. But despite those sort of minor points, The overall reception for the Hindi version is massively positive. On Amazon India, it's got, what, a 4.5 out of 5 from over 17,000 reviews globally. That's huge.
Oh, 17,000.
Yeah.
And people call it eye-opening, life-changing. They really highlight the motivational aspect and the practical ideas that help them rethink how they approach building wealth. Sure, there's some minor complaints about the physical big yellowish pages, that kind of thing, but that seems pretty secondary for most people compared to the actual content.
And you have to think about